Hello and welcome to another Gags Tandon show. And I'm back with an OG, Mr. Marco Lopez. Marco, tell me what I want to hear. Are we going to win the league?
I think we just might, Gags. I think we just might. Look. No.
In your own
Listen.
inimitable style, we might just.
No, because you can always count on me to be like, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We still got a lot to do. But the cool thing is this was a perfect weekend for Liverpool. Let's be honest. Arsenal messed up, and that's an important thing. And yes, injuries. I don't care. I really don't care. Like, Liverpool fans have seen this movie before. It is Liverpool's league to lose. We've been saying that for a couple of weeks. It is still that. There's still a lot of football to be played. This is a very important victory. Was City short of their resources? Yes. I don't care. It's still City. It's still Etihad. It's still a place where Liverpool have usually gone and not been themselves. This is a very, very, very important win. Very, very important. And yes, it's a big step towards that thing, towards winning the title.
Mate, when the fans started singing that at the end, it got me. It got me because let me tell you something. When the traveling cops sing it, they feel it. They know it. And now you're going to believe us, as Tadiwa says here. Now you're going to believe us, you know. That's it's just amazing. We got the clean sheet. And yeah, Ahmed, hello, Gags and all. We're going to win the league. How good did we defend today? Masterclass in defending against City. There you go. Amazing. I mean, do you want to talk about the first negative thing, and then we'll just leave the negatives? Shall we do it and get it out the way?
Yeah. Let's get it out the way. So I think if you're gonna ask for serious money because apparently the best right back in the world, I think you shouldn't be allowing a fine. I'll give it to maybe at best Doc, who's an above average left wing. Maybe he shouldn't be dribbling past you 10, 11 times. The amount of times Ibu covered for him, Endo covered for him at the end of the game. Crikey, we even had the best player in the world playing right back a couple of times this game. Like, sorry, Trent, but no. Yes, you got the hockey assist for the second goal. Happy, but to be honest, wow, that was very, very disappointing from that perspective. That's the only slight I can make. Maybe apart from that, just the two centre backs were absolutely imperious. So Ali was fine. Wow. I mean, I think Dave mentioned it on Raw and a couple of his other shows. Against Aston Villa, Honestlot got the tactics right. Any issues were execution. Today was the same, in the sense that I think the tactical plan was just fine. Any issues were execution. The good news is the execution delivered a clean sheet and a win, and that's what it is. So
I do want to add on top of the Trent stuff. Look, at the end of the day, Trent did get beaten 11 times. Totally understand that, but at the same time, Doku did absolutely nothing with it. And I guess if it was another player, like you said, he's kind of like mid left winger type.
Yeah.
You know, if he was world class, we would have been in trouble today. Let's be honest.
100%.
And I just want to say as well, Robbo, first half, as we said this, wasn't very good. Second half went to pot again. And but yeah, at the end of the day, there's too much goodness to talk about in this game.
Agreed.
And you just touched on the two immense players, because there's another one that we can talk. Actually, there's another few we can talk about after these two. But Ibu and Van Dijk today, every single thing. You know those games where we cross the ball in all the time and like the opposition defenders just head everything out. That was us to them today. It was so nice to see that we just literally, I mean, both of them calm as you like. VVD again today. Ibu not flustered at all, covering Trent when he could, but otherwise they were exceptional. I don't have enough words to describe how good those two players were today. Just
absolutely brilliant. Yeah, I agree with that. I think what it's reassuring to see, particularly from a Virgil point of view, because there's been a couple of arguments around Virgil being sort of just a little bit off the boil the last couple of games. It didn't look that way today. He looked significantly better. I don't want to make too much of the fact that you can only play what's in front of you. And yes, we can't sit and say this is vintage Man City. It wasn't. And yes, they were without that Norwegian guy. I get it. It doesn't matter. I don't care. They still control that magnificently. Both of them were imperious. And I just, fantastic pairing, the best centre-back pairing in the league. Again, Arsenal, I don't care. Just absolutely fantastic and really compensated for any defensive sort of risk we have. I do want to give a little bit of a compliment to midfield, though, again, to the overall tactical structure. There was a lot of moments in this game where you found that a lot of the midfielders were getting into positions to shield the defense a lot better this time. So big ups to, we're probably going to talk about them again, but big ups to McAllister, big ups to Graven moments. There was a lot of covering. Yeah,
we want to cover that next 100%. Because I thought the tactical, I mean, let's just touch what AG says here on EB 100% showed why they are the best partnership in the PL. Key they stay fit until the end of the season. Yes, I got it. I got it, AG, before you even typed it. FBI CPS says we have one hell of a manager. We absolutely do. And this is where I want to talk about. And again, Ahmed says the same. Also, huge credit to Arne Slot and his team. Plenty of games still to play. But Damo, we'll come back to the Grizz stuff. Tactical masterclass from Arne. This is what I wanted to talk about from the midfield, was that one more immense, never took any trouble, can beat his man, but absolutely nothing after that. Again.
Yeah.
So the way within the first 5 minutes, Slot figured out that they were having KDB or Foden switch as the false nine today, right? They were switching. And so he literally just went up to Verge, follow him in. As soon, because what they were doing was dipping and one going in, one dropping and one dipping. It was one of those things where they were trying to see if you can get a flick on or a quick pass inside and then out, so there'd be space in behind, which they used to do very well. But Slot was like, nope, one of you go. And what was happening? Maka was slotting straight into defense, or Grav was slotting on the other side. If EB was going, they were just slotting into the centre back role just to cover the space in case. And again, to see it happen time and again, tactically, they just couldn't. They just had no other. That was Guardiola's game plan. That was it. He had no other, apart from his two wingers. His central part was cut out within 5 minutes of the game starting.
100%.
And then if you watch it in the second half as well, Maka's then covering in the left portion for where Robbo is. He's covering on that side, because then they saw Guardiola's going that way. And then Mo started covering on the other side. I mean, I don't know. It felt like a masterclass to me today from Slot.
It was. I think that the only time I can recall, just sort of from my notes, when they finally did manage to break through and is behind, is the one moment where I'd say, I don't want to be overcritical of Ali, but he makes a bit of a strange pass around the second half. I don't know if you can recall it. We lose the ball. I'm not sure where exactly Ali was aiming it. Anyway, the ball sort of gets cleared to Mamouche. It was a great finish from Mamouche, to be fair, but luckily offside, if I recall. So, but that's it. That's the only time it actually sort of happened. Otherwise, there was just such a good tactical structure. And even the end, I mean, I know it doesn't necessarily sort of please everybody to sort of see 11 men behind the ball and you're defending a 2-0 lead that way. But that's, at the end of the day, that's what you do to win games. And just there was a lot of maturity in today's performance. It wasn't like before when the teams visited the Etihad and the history of the place and the history of that team has sort of intimidated that. No, the team 100% delivered on that plan in a very good way.
Yeah, and I think Nick here, G's on toast, says totally control the second half, and Endo coming on for the lockout pretty much guaranteed. And Endo, when he came on, great. How good was he today? Like, great. He broke everything, like everything. Like, he backed up Trent. Doku didn't want to take him on, went the other way. Even if he beat Endo, like Doku did beat Endo once, but then Endo ran around the other side and then caught up with him and then put him off. It's just like, dude, That's exactly what we need. And yeah, I have to say, I think Slot's using Endo in the right way. And had he just brought him on against Everton, we'd be looking at something different. But it's okay. I think the loss with Arsenal, I didn't expect it. I think a few Liverpool fans did expect Arsenal to lose to West Ham. I don't know where they got it from, but because West Ham have been absolutely shit.
But Gags, I think just on that, I think it's important that, regardless of what that Arsenal result was, the team still needed to go ahead and just almost ignore it and win this game in spite of that. It obviously helps, and I'm not saying it didn't play into the psychology, because of course, I mean, they played first. But the only thing, just because I still got PTSD, and I'm that guy. If you all want to chirp me, all good. I just want to remind everybody, we're 11 points clear. We haven't won the thing yet. The responsibility is to go and win the thing. Can we stop worrying about Arsenal, worry about ourselves? Because yes, like they may continue to further mess up. Be great to win this early, because there's a hell of a lot of games to play. You've got a very tricky round of 16 game against PSG in the Champions League. Ideally, you want to progress as far in that as possible, if nothing else, because of the money. But again, statement win, really cool, and really, really helpful, especially in light of what Arsenal felt.
Let me get carried away, man. I do this every week to everybody else on the show, to Jack, to Grizz. I today feel like, you know what? I just wanted it so bad today, because I'm going away for like a week, but I won't be doing a show till next weekend or the midweek after. So I'm away with work for a week, and I just needed us to win. And I think, Damo's saying Arsenal away to Forest, away to United, and home to Chelsea next. Whilst we've got 3 home games next. So this could be, this is the right time for us to go into this run here, and we have a cup final in between. Saigo says, what a result. There's still time to go. Will we get an old school podcast when we win the league? Yes, you will. Absolutely. 11 points clear. Believe. Liverpool fan in Japan is the place for Endo reality. Absolutely. Brilliant. It would be nice if we started controlling games by placing importance on keeping the ball. I think you're getting a bit over the top now, Gary Mack, because you did say it as well.
I think it depends on where you are, right? This is their pad. I think the approach, we controlled the space, we controlled where the game was going. Yes, it would have been nice to have the ball as well. I don't think Liverpool needed to control that today. If you're at Anfield, I totally agree. You want to keep the ball, but today I didn't think we needed. If you can't win with the ball, like, it's cool, have it. Like, there was no way that they were gonna break through.
I think Slot's listening, though, Marco. I think Slot's listening. I think we were in a run of 5 games in 15 days, so literally averaging every 3 days, and Wolves was right smack bang in the middle, right? So if you go 2-0 up at halftime, what are you going to do? You're going to try and save legs, aren't you? Tell the truth. I would. You're going to try and 100%. Save legs when you've got Villa and City coming up. So this thing here, I don't think that's the truth. I don't think that's the way. I don't think we went 2-0 against Everton. It was 2-1. But Wolves happened because, and also remember, he's trying to counter at 2-0. He's trying to play on the counter at 2-0 because he knows we can be lethal. And we had a goal disallowed against Wolves at 2-0.
Yeah.
To make it 3. And then they scored a worldie. And then what played into that game was the story of the Everton game, because we'd conceded last
100%.
minute.
Yeah.
So it was all mental stuff. Let's not we're over and analyzing a thing. Today is a different game to Wolves, because Manchester City are always going to keep the ball in their home ground.
Agreed.
You're not going to out-possession Man City in their home ground. And if you do, you're asking for trouble. You're going to get battered on the counter. You're going to lose that ball outside of out of transition for players. And if you thought it was bad Trent getting beat this many times, it would have been even worse. So I think you got to take each game on the story of the game and what happens before the game, and also the context of how the run was going for us and on where the manager wanted to save legs. Now we get another game against Newcastle in 3 days, and we get nearly a week off, nearly a week between to rest. So the next one, I think they're going to be up for that big time at home, really to stamp home the authority.
Especially off the back of this, because I mean, you suddenly that energy from winning this, and the belief, and obviously what the traveling fans were singing, that's going to go straight into Anfield against Newcastle. So, and I mean, Newcastle look leaky, and yes, currently not traveling very well. So it's a great moment to just put a mental marker down and make sure that they also have a bit of a situation in terms of sort of mental energy that's hopefully gonna drop their spirits into the Carabao Cup final. Having said that, I mean, Wednesday's the more important game, obviously, in my view, because the league is more important. But yeah, there is one comment I'd love us to go back to, Gags. It was asked by Ahmad quite a while back.
Yeah, I will.
We've got to talk about him.
Tad, yes, absolutely. Ahmed, where was he?
We've got to talk about him. And you know what
yes,
I'm talking about.
This boy. We have to. There's one other after him that we need to talk about. But yes, let's talk about Mo. Go for it.
I think if you don't answer this question as yes, then you're just
Ahmed's question.
Stupidly, you're just stupidly biased, and there's something wrong with you. So earlier there was a tweet doing the rounds where now we're comparing some of Salah's stats to Messi's stats. Do I need to qualify this anymore? I don't think we do. I don't think there's a single other human playing football like this. His record against big teams, Manchester City in particular, is exceptional. He continues to do goals and assists all the time. And not because he's trying to stat pad. He just does. He just does. It's just insane how productive this guy is. The guy had a good stint at right back today in support of a great performance at right wing as well. I don't think there's much and I don't even think he really got out of third gear. Gvardiol's not a bad player. And Gvardiol couldn't hold a candle to what Mo was doing to him today. It's just Mo Salah is ridiculously beyond anything that the Premier League has seen for ages. And if we're not talking about him in the context of Thierry Henry upwards, we're not doing him any justice. The guy needs his flowers. The guy hopefully needs his money, but that's a separate topic. There is not a single thing that he cannot fundamentally influence. And the crazy thing is, I mean, this squad's good, right? This team's good. This guy is dragging Liverpool to the Premier League title. Even it's insane. As much as FSG or whoever else has conspired to not surround this guy with like signings to sort of help him out, it doesn't matter. This guy is dragging this team to the title. It's incredible what this guy has done. And just flowers and celebration. Please, can we just appreciate this guy for what he is? I'm going to say it. I'm going to be the brave person. As much as, previously I was thinking like, oh, Luis Suarez is the most talented player to play for Liverpool. I don't know if the answer to that question is Luis Suarez anymore. I think it's this guy. Because it's insane what he does. He's proven it time and time again. And he's got productivity to prove it. He's got trophies to prove it. We've now got to start talking about him in the context of, if he wins the league this year, Gags, he deserves to be argued about in the context of Kenny and Steven and a couple of the other legends. He deserves that. He is that good. There. Yeah. That's my soapbox.
Mo Salah is the first player in Premier League history to register 40-plus goal involvements in 2 different seasons. Nobody else has done it. Mo Salah is the first player in Europe's top 5 leagues this season to be directly involved in 50 goals across all competitions. The stats prove Mo is the best. Mo Salah is probably the best player in the world at the moment. I say probably because there's a certain CB in the same team who can be called the same. Big Ridge is our hero. Arj says massive win. I want to talk about Mo as well. I think I was really worried about him right at the start of Jan because, I thought maybe the contract talks had hit a rock bottom and he'd not showed up for a couple of games. But since then, he scored in 8 consecutive games, I believe, for Liverpool FC that he started. I think that was what commentary was saying. That's insane, man. Like this is January, February, where he's normally poor. He doesn't turn up. He is on it. He nobody does it better. That's Mo Salah's the one. I just think, the John Bonds 87-90 dropped into this team in this area, it would be insane. Well, I don't think. Oh, on the left side, yes, of course, of course, yeah, he'd be on the left. Yeah, if we had Bonds on the left right now, I think the whole thing's the game's finished. Like, just completely. I think we just wiped the floor with everybody. But Mo,
but
Mo, this
Gags,
is Mo. We have to stick to Mo today
Gags,
again.
Agreed. This is a crazy thing. I mean, there were patches in the game, particularly in the beginning of the game, where I was a bit confused, like who's playing center forward, and then eventually it took me ages to figure out. Okay, we're doing our own sort of rotations around Jones and Zabazla, almost like sort of in this weird like leading the line, false nine kind of role. Jota has been off color. We've spoken about that. I don't need to speak about Darwin Núñez, unfortunately. Cody was injured. Diaz is looking a little off color. This guy is still doing his thing. This is and I stress, he's a winger. He's a winger. He's not supposed. Thierry Henry would play centrally. He took penalties, if I'm not mistaken. There were stages when Mo didn't take penalties in his Liverpool career, as we all know. It's insane what he's done. It's absolutely insane. The guy needs far more love, far more flowers. There's just and I'm saying this to all Liverpool fans: celebrate him now. I unfortunately don't know if there's going to be something at the end of the season that makes us all happy and he stays. So celebrate him now, because the last thing you want is you miss it, right?
You gotta just live this last 2 months and then see what happens, or 3 months, whatever it's left now. March, April, May, maybe, that's it. 3 more months. And there's a sneaky feeling from some Wallace guy on Twitter, the journalist, was saying that Mo and Verge might sign, but what does he know? I don't know, and I don't think anybody knows anything. But also Verge's comments really make it sound like something's happened. Pre-game he was like, I'm very calm. Everybody else should just stay calm. I've got big plans for the future. So I was like, it seems like he's like ready to stay, or at least agreed to stay. That's a completely different kind of message to what he was giving a couple of weeks back, where nobody knows anything, and it was kind of like went into a negative way. But this one can't really be taken as a negative way. It was really positive, really big smile on his face. At the end of the day, how could you not give Mo the money that he wants, or at least the same money that he's on for what he's producing right now? Like the evidence, this is one of those things, right, where I'm going through something in management right now where you talk about capability and commitment of people, and you want to talk about someone who's looking like they're teetering on the way out of the club, but yet they're hitting every performance metric, yet they're leading the team, they're being a leader, they're coming back and defending in the 80th minute to last 10 minutes of the game as a defensive midfielder, for Liverpool, showing that it's not all about my goals, mate. I want to win the league. And when you see someone doing that, it doesn't sound like they want to leave. It doesn't feel like they want to leave. In fact, he stands there like he's the god when he scores every time. He's either sitting on the hoarding on the behind with all the fans, or he's standing in the middle of the pitch with his arms out, telling the players to come and just hug him. It's like the guy, both of them just feel like, I've got a good feeling that they might just stay. I don't think they're ready to go. I think if we win the league this year, I think they deserve a chance to defend it properly with start. And I think they both love the manager because he's doing great for them. And they both see that the manager knows what he's doing. It's completely different to Klopp football. I loved Klopp football. I did, especially those 2 years where we were an unstoppable machine. 2018 to 2020, start of end of 2020 was immense. We won everything under the sun, everything. It was the best time ever. But this team just seems to have some tactical nous to it that we all wanted. And I know people keep saying he's not going to buy that DM that I want. But hey, if they turn up like this, they can buy a right back that can defend and a left back that can defend. Oh my God, this club could just take off with a couple of more players. They just need another midfielder, maybe we sell Darwin, bring someone else in, like an Isaac. They could just go all the way with everything, like literally. But I don't want to get too overexcited. I just feel like, Marco, I think Neville was saying it. This team seem like they can play any game. It's not one game. They're not one way. They can seem to just adapt to a game and change. And it's so beautiful to see, man. It's so beautiful to see.
But that's what I'm trying to say about, like, if you juxtapose this against the Aston Villa game, it's beautifully different, right? Because there, yes, away game, Liverpool were by far the dominant team. Anyone who thought that the tactical plan against Aston Villa was wrong, they weren't paying attention. It was just, unfortunately, execution issues that prevented a win. Both of these wins are fundamentally different in the tactical choices made. And yet the crazy thing is both of those sets of tactical choices are perfectly appropriate for the opposition in the situation we're talking about. And even then, I'd argue if you had everyone back and fully sort of fit, right? So if, like, I think we lost a little bit of momentum from Cody getting injured. Diaz was okay today. I don't think he was fantastic. Definitely preferred the second half when things open up a bit. But
he wasn't. He wasn't.
Yeah,
he worked very hard again. Let's give him the.
Yeah. He always does. He always does.
He does. That's he's always going to. But he has so much space first half, Marco, and he just did nothing with it.
100%. But the thing I was going to say is, like, if all the things are on the cylinder, then yes, maybe you say, okay, cool, everyone is fully fit, everyone is fully firing. Then yes, maybe you try and sort of play Man City off the park and on their own turf. But I think the beauty of what you've just reminded us all is, honestly, I was probably exactly sitting there thinking, I've got a lot of games in a short space of time. I don't need to do this, and I can see a way. And that's the crazy thing. The third goal, I know unfortunately was disallowed because of offside for inches. But what was crazy about that is, I mean, that goal, that kind of goal was threatening to happen all the time. It was just a case of, to what extent some of the execution pieces would come together to eventually allow a through ball like that to happen, and then a goal to be scored. And that was the entire game. That's the crazy thing about as much possession that they had. I just felt that whenever Liverpool got into an attacking situation, it looked far more dangerous. The only time I was nervous really was when Doku was giving Trent issues, but there was cover. The team compensated accordingly. So it was a different kind of control to what we saw against Aston Villa, but it was still control, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I think everything just was perfect. As soon as we went 2-0 up, and the first goal, set piece, Marco, thank God, we scored one. I want to bring in the numbers quickly on this. It wasn't a high XG game. We just edged it 0.71 to 0.663. So we've kind of done what Villa did to us, where Villa got a 0.8 and scored 2 goals. We've done the same. They had 66% of the ball. They created 0 big chances. 0 big chances conceded against Man City. Clean sheets kept against Man City over 180 minutes. This is slot football. We didn't need to do much after we scored the 2, but the set play, Marco, let's talk about it. And I think we don't need to show too much of the stats anymore, but yeah, the set play, talk to me about it. I thought it was perfect.
Agreed. Number one, well done. We actually scored a goal from a set piece in the corner, so that's that in itself was something to celebrate. Everything's magnificent in its execution. The way that a lot of space is created for Mo to obviously enter. I think a little bit more credit needs to be given for Sobo for that pass. I don't actually think that's a very easy pass to make, and he makes it look really, really easy. It's an inch perfect. Zobo's pass. So remember, the corner's played by McAllister into Zobo, who then does the pass to Mo. Zobo's looking at the ball when he makes the pass, so it's kind of like behind his left shoulder. Like, it's a really difficult pass. I mean, obviously it's practiced. Obviously it's been rehearsed. He knows where Mo is going to be. It's still a pretty difficult pass to play. I just think a lot of credit to Zobo in particular for that goal. And yes, I mean, deflection on the finish, who cares? It's the kind of thing that Mo's going to score 9 times out of 10. So it's just great that was finally in the locker, because I always felt, I don't know if you can recall it, Gags, but it felt like when Liverpool won the league in 1920, it felt like there were a lot more set-piece goals than we've enjoyed this season. And I'm not trying to say turn into Arsenal. I am saying you've got to have that in your locker.
Even
one of the things
Rodgers season, remember 13th, our first season on Anfield Index, Rodgers. How many set plays were we scoring that year?
100%.
It was mental. Like, that's what changed games. That's what wins you games. But you've got to have the
100%.
flair too. But that Liverpool side did have the flair as well, you know.
No, agreed. I think it's something that I never liked. I mean, I hated it, but I could respect it. The Man United sides under Ferguson, particularly when they played Liverpool, always felt like set pieces were dangerous because someone would figure out a way for Rio or Javier Hernandez to somehow score from those things. I think strategically as a tool in your locker, you need it. So it's the kind of thing where, you know, regardless of how a game is going, regardless of whether you're playing against a deep block or not, you want to be able to score from situations like that. It was great that it came out. I don't know where it came from. I don't know if all of a sudden they hired some set piece coach or their set piece coach suddenly got things going. Please may it continue, because it would be great if, particularly when we're having difficulties beating low blocks, that comes out and gets us some goals as well.
I just want to focus a little bit on Szoboszlai and Saigo Bar. Thank you for your comment. He's put a quote in from Szoboszlai. We were defending 30 minutes from our goal and we gave everything. It is part of the game. Sometimes you don't have the ball, and we are happy to take the 3 points. Now, what I also want to say is, if you saw full time, this guy, Dominic Szoboszlai, was on the floor with his head down in the ground because he had given absolutely everything to this game, absolutely everything. So, you know, I actually want to call him the man of the match for this game. He got the assist for Mo, then he scored with a beautiful goal himself from Mo's assist as well. I thought he was everywhere, like absolutely everywhere today. He has been a breath of fresh air for us this season. I know people are saying he should do more, the product should be more, but if you don't see the difference our team has when he's playing because of the energy he brings, and now he knows that's his role, it's like he has the purpose now to go and do this. And, you know, he deserves all the plaudits today. He does. He made that City midfield just feel old. Just made them feel old because he put all of his legs into it. He gave it everything. Jones as well didn't do great. Like I wish, I think Everest said, I wish his goal had stood, because he gave it everything with the control as well. Like he was holding on while they're playing it. But today wasn't about passing. Today was about work rate. Maka, Jones, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai. There's a reason why those four are our main four, and there's a reason why the last two games they've had to play the games. It's because they're fantastic, and I won't be surprised if these four start the PSG and the Newcastle Cup final. I won't be surprised. I really won't, because they seem to bring control to a game, and they seem to have the legs and the energy and the quality on the ball too, Marco. And I think Gakpo and Mo will start and maybe converge a little bit with them four in midfield as a either a 2-2-2 or a, you know, it'll be a either way. It's gonna. I think we've stumbled upon something that really works, because Villa didn't deserve a 2-2. We battered them.
No, they didn't. Again, the Villa result, I'm going to say it again. It's an issue in execution, not in tactical plan. The tactics were absolutely fine. I think I'll steal Dave's wording. I'll probably butcher it. Paraphrased. Arne Slot coached to win against Villa. He coached to win. The execution was a problem, fundamentally in terms of some unfortunate mistakes, but particularly in terms of obviously goals missed. I think what was also cool about today is you look at the movement, you look at the way that Szoboszlai was taking advantage of dragging people out of position, and then, you know, using connecting passes from teammates around him to then get in behind. That happens a few times today. That happens for the third goal, which unfortunately gets disallowed. So effectively, I think it's the only concern I've got is the same concern you and I discussed several times. Is we're now going from a situation where 3 of these guys play to now 4 of these guys play, and it's not a lot of cover. So you want to try and like stretch the legs as much as possible. I'm going to say it's a blessing that they're not in the FA Cup, because it would be tempting to otherwise play these guys. I don't know about the Carabao Cup, all 4 of them playing, because if I'm not mistaken, it's very close to the second leg of the PSG game. So that's maybe a consideration, Gags. You might want to think about that from all four of them playing. But I would agree with you. It's and by the way, it's an unfortunately an interesting storyline around where the heads of Diogo Jota and Darwin Núñez must be, because if Arne suddenly decided that tactically it makes more sense for no traditional centre forward to play, I think it says a lot about what those two could sort of face in the future. But I'm not going to complain. They're winning, and a league title is there to win. So if the plan is there and it works, then we support it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I agree with everything. The midfield is just, if we just had one more, it would have been really nice. Just one more, so they could rotate a bit. It would be nice. But I guess Endo is the sub sparing some minutes. But like I said, he's playing in the two biggest games, or what felt like the most pivotal games of the season for the title, especially with the Arsenal, the way the fixtures just worked out. And had we lost to Villa, had we lost to City, I know Arsenal lost to Villa, to West Ham, but imagine if we lost to Villa and Arsenal really got a push out of it. Anything could have happened. The points difference could be very close. So to trust his four midfielders so much in these two games tells you everything about what he thinks of them. What he thinks of those players, how much he trusts them to get those results. And Villa got those 2 goals in in midweek. Don't think they deserved them, but I love these midfielders. These 4 are absolutely fantastic. I know Grav doesn't get got the praise at the start, but now it's probably getting.
He's tired.
Yeah,
he's tired. I think with Grav, there's 2 things I'll give him. Absolutely, there's people who love him and there's people who are concerned about him. I think with Gravenberch, you've got to consider 3 things, a couple of things. Number one is he's young. He's playing a role in a position that he's not used to playing. It's very clear that this is the kind of guy who loves to sort of get the ball at his feet, charge at people. A couple of moments today, still he didn't track runners where he should as a sort of a proper DM shield. I get it. He's not used to the position. In other respects, he's tired. He has played more football than he's used to. And I know some will argue, well, he's young, he should have the legs. I don't think it works that way. I don't think it's as simple as that. And I don't think we can just assume that sort of there's this robotic switch that someone like Gravenberch switches and then cool, he's just suddenly going to play every game. He looks like this, and it's fab, unfortunately, but I think it's very much systemic and indicative of how much football he's played.
I agree.
Yeah,
it's going to be that way. It's just gonna be that way right now. He's going to be a bit tired. I think we just need to find a way to manage the time if we can. But I think the fixtures have just been so tough. Maybe the Southampton home game, we might get a chance to start Endo, instead. But I don't know. I just hope. I mean, the best thing that could happen is that Arsenal just keep dropping these points, because I know Nottingham Forest just dropped some points as well, so they are way behind now as well. Like, it's from being really close to us like a month ago, they are literally like way behind as well. So I think Forest now 17 points, Arsenal 11. I want Forest to beat Arsenal, if I'm honest, and I want us to beat City, so it becomes 14 points clear of Arsenal. And at that point, I think it's done. I think you might as well. Arsenal just won't have they just won't have the urge to go and win games anymore, because it kills you, right? At that point, you just die. Being so close, and then within a week, you've gone from it should have been 5 to 14.
In a sense, I agree with you, Gags. I think we're going to channel the late Kobe Bryant here and say, like, the job's not finished until it's finished. But the reason I would like you to be correct in terms of wrapping up early is so that then, cool, now that it's done, I mean, you and I can go and play in the park while they try and win the Champions League. That for me would be the benefit of it in terms of like making a big run, because the crazy thing with the way the draw of the Champions League wrapped up, even though Liverpool on the harder side of the draw, you could make the argument. I think if there was ever a year and ever a situation where you'd feel a little more comfortable playing against Real Madrid over 2 legs. But they're still Real Madrid. I don't want to be sort of disrespectful of that, and also obviously disrespectful to PSG. That's the opponent you got to beat first. But if you played all the cards right and the league was wrapped up by then, crikey. I mean, why not? Why not? Because to recall what you said, when in that patch between 2018 and 2020, Liverpool is clearly the best football team on the planet. That's the thing. Like, a lot of us will sit with the PTSD and the sense of injustice because we know this team should have won more. We know this team should have had more success in terms of what they deserved. The crazy thing is, we're talking about this team with, like, I mean, this is not exactly anywhere near as complete a squad like that one was, and yet they're asking these questions, which is amazing, and a lot of credit has to be given to the team for that.
I actually think that the Arsenal result ended up taking a lot of pressure off the game as well for Liverpool, and you could see that they came with a game plan. Nobody was in panic mode like maybe you felt against Everton and Wolves and Villa. You felt maybe there's a bit of panic there somewhere. Today, you kind of felt like they knew now. They kind of know now Arsenal are just going to keep dropping. This is not City chasing us anymore. You know, the Moes and the Verges and the Trents and the Robos and, you know, Ibu even and Ali, they would know this is not City catching us anymore. We don't have to be perfect till the end of the season. It's okay to go away from home and grab a draw. Losing is not on the agenda, but drawing, picking up points the whole way of the season, you're going to end up winning it now because you've done all the hard work. And I think now that they know that, though, Marco, that it doesn't have to be perfect to the end. It doesn't have to be perfect. Like, you don't have to go and win 6 games in a row. You can win 4 out of 5. You can win 5 out of 6. You can have that odd draw here and there because it's Arsenal. That relieves you so much, dude. It just does.
No, of course it does. I think if I recall correctly, in terms of the remaining games, so of the 7 home games, you've got, like, one of those is against Arsenal. As long as you prevent Arsenal from winning, I think that's fine. So 6 wins and a draw. I think you have to win the other 6. You just have to. You're at home. I think what's interesting is the pressure's taken off the away games that are left. Not that I think there's an away trip to Leicester in there as well, which is a game we'd expect to win. So the point I'm trying to make, though, is if those away games now, you know, you can afford now to lose a couple, and in a context where it doesn't feel like you're sitting under a lot of pressure. And I think that's going to become really useful, particularly if the team progresses in the Champions League, because I do think that's important as well. It's a pity I don't think the squad has. There's bodies in the squad. They're not necessarily trusted. That's the issue, right? So, but if the league is sorted, then that gives you the opportunity to ask more questions of the Champions League in the right way.
I think, though, being 11 points ahead of the pack helps. Having Arsenal with all of these injuries helps. Have Arsenal having Champions League football at the same time as us helps. You know, that's going to be the problem. So, you know, for Arsenal, that is. For us, I think we're going to be okay because, again, 11 points helps, man. When you got that PSG game coming up, but then you can rotate on the weekend with some players, especially if it's the likes of Endo coming in. I would love for that to happen. So it's like a weight's been lifted this weekend. It was real tense coming up into this weekend. Like, as soon as that final whistle went against West Ham for Arsenal, I had no doubt today that these boys were going to beat them. I am God's honest truth. I just knew when your opposition F's up before you like that, you know you got a free shot at this game. You just listen to your manager, and if you follow the instruction of this manager, because he's going to get it right, you're going to end up taking the points. And for the first time in 10 years, it feels like, is it 10 years since we won at Etihad? I don't know, maybe not 10 years. But
what, the league?
No. At Etihad in the Premier League.
Oh, at the Etihad. Yeah, I think it is. I think it
was 15, 2014-15, when Klopp took over his first season, like when Brendan got sacked. Or was it 15-16? But either way, nearly 10 years since we beat them there in the Premier League. That's huge, man. This is going to give them so much more confidence for the rest of the season. and those fans believing in the traveling cop singing, "Now you're going to believe us." That's when you know that this isn't like hyperbolic anymore. Everyone's
It's
believing
definitely
it
not
now.
hyperbolic. It definitely isn't.
Everyone's believing it now.
Agreed. I also think that another critical thing again, like I say, I'd love the team the next time they play United, which is obviously next season, but the next time they play United, I'd love them to remind themselves of what they did today. You don't play the occasion, you don't play the reputation, you don't play the history. You play what's in front of you. This City team was supposed to be got at. Yes, they'll obviously dominate the ball. I don't dispute that. They still were very, very beatable, and beatable in a way that allowed us to also get a clean sheet, which is important, right? Because the team hasn't kept a clean sheet for a while. I think there was an important sort of mental statement around things defensively. So it's just all these things circle back. I think the key thing is, Gags, let's all sort of raise a glass to Mo Salah. I want to come back to that one more time. Please raise a glass to Mo Salah. We are starting to discuss stats with him in the same conversation as Lionel Messi. Please just think about what that means. That's insane, and Salah deserves it. Salah deserves it, and it's worth every thought of what that looks like. And he's doing that in a fashion where this team could win the league, and that's amazing. And we should give him a lot of credit for that.
I totally agree. Yeah, this manager, as we've just saw, I flashed up some stuff there. Slot just confirmed the set piece goal was something they came up with in practice this week based on looking at City's defense and possible areas of space. Well done.
Beautiful.
Another one that just fantastic. Damo just said we are 20 points above City, 34 points above United. It just feels so good. It just feels so good to be going away with work, not having to just worry about the league. And also because it's Newcastle, even if we did draw, I've got a feeling Arsenal are going to draw to Forest or lose. So whatever happens, it's either going to stay as it is, or it's going to be another game less.
I want the win, Gags. I want the win. I want the win.
Absolutely want the win. Every day of the week, I want the win. But it's going to be the 5th game in 15 days, Marco. That's the one. But luckily, Newcastle played today.
Yeah.
And they had a rough 4-3 with Forest, so it wasn't easy in the end for them. They got they've had to put a lot of energy in, so it's going to be the same for them. And I think their squad's smaller and also not used to playing twice a week, so
agreed.
That's going to be good.
And they don't travel well. I also think I just think it's important as well around any psychology that we want to play into Liverpool's favor in the Carabao Cup final. So I mean, if you're in the final, you want to win it, right? So I think it's just win at Anfield. So that's the most recent memory Newcastle live with, as opposed to what happened at St James's or whatever they call that place now. I can't recall.
Yeah, I think we're better than them. I think we can beat them. I don't think they're defensively sound. You could see what Bournemouth went and did to them at their own place as well. I don't think Forest ended up scoring 3 today. I think if Ibu and Verge turn up like they did today, we'll batter them. I think we just have to manage Isaac, which I'm sure we can. That's all. They need to have slots here, man. Slots here, and he's got his little slot machines, winning everything for him. So, I mean, the real slot machine is Dominic Szoboszlai. He's my man of the match. Yours is Mo Salah, I'd guess.
Absolutely. And that's with a lot of love towards Dom as well, because again, I just waxed lyrically about the importance of his assist for the first goal, but I just give Mo his flowers, man. Ideally his money as well. Like seriously, come on, he's the best player in the world. Like, what more evidence do you want? What more? Look at the fantasy league stats. Look at the highlights. Look at the goal scoring records. Look at the fact that the numbers are putting him in conversations around Thierry Henry. Do we not understand this? The guy deserves his flowers. Can we stop ignoring the guy? Seriously. I'm not saying we're ignoring him. What I am saying is, Liverpool fans, you are not doing enough to sell everyone else on the fact that this guy is that good. And if some of you have done that, great. But we just need to start annoying people to the point where they realize just how crazy freaking good this guy is. This guy is incredible. And the numbers are there. and please God, like he does get this Premier League title, so he can say, "Hey, I did this." Like, where's my flowers? Where's my money?
Yeah, he is the best. He's the best in the world right now, I think. So, I just there's nobody else out there that you can claim it, especially this season with the way the numbers are being stacked up right now. Mohamed Salah has both the most goals, 9, and most assists, 6, of any player against sides managed by Pep Guardiola in his top flight league managerial career. Thorn.
And he would have more assists. He if you really look throughout his career and even this season, there are more assists that are not on that were money on the table, so to speak, money left on the table that he could have
25
got
league
because
goals and 16 league assists.
come on, man, come on, like.
And by the way, check the time and the date. It's still February. We have
What?
10, 11 games to go.
like gags again. I'm not kidding. You know, like that FIFA game, a whole bunch of you people play, and then you're sitting with Mo Salah and you score it. Like these are the numbers you produce in FIFA, except he's doing it in real life. Come on, man. The guy, money, flowers, FSG. I know you're watching. Please, preferably in that order.
Can we talk about something really interesting that Swedish Power M said? Fair play to Man City playing a preseason game with their sweet revenge to Arsenal. Lots of friends there, Virg and De Bruyne. Of course they are. Their kids go to school, the same school. They meet probably when they drop the kids off and stuff, or their wives do. They must be best mates because they live around the same area. I think Trent lives around there. So many of them live in Manchester or the surrounding areas, suburbs, the posh suburbs of Manchester. The Liverpool players. That they are definitely best mates with a lot of these players on the pitch. And I'm surprised Haaland wasn't even in the squad after he was on the bench midweek. So what happened between Wednesday and Sunday where Haaland, I don't think Haaland wanted to play today because he hates Arsenal. He completely hates Arsenal. Here's my hyperbolic portion of the pod. I think he just didn't want to play because if he plays, he's got to go and score and he's got to do his best. But I reckon he just said, "Fuck this! I ain't playing. I ain't playing. If I ain't playing, this City side ain't got a chance, and I'd rather this City side not have a chance because I hate Arsenal and I hate Skelly." And Skelly, have you seen the picture with Skelly doing his pose?
Yeah. He's getting sent off again. Yeah. The only thing I don't like about your story, Gags, is that it implies that we got this result purely because it doesn't play.
No. I know.
No, hold on. I'll give you my version. My version's better. I think it's just because he doesn't like that number 4 guy. He's tall. He's Dutch. He's awesome. He always puts him in his pocket and he's like, you know what, Pep? Sorry, I hate that guy. I had bad dreams. I don't like this Virgil guy. Please, I don't want to play. Can I wait until I play someone easier? Because the crazy thing with Virg is what, like almost a decade older? No, 9, 8 years older. Still manages him for pay. Still manages him for fizzy. Like it's just, I get it. I would be embarrassed too. So all good, Erling. You avoided that. I totally get it. Stay humble, dude. All good.
To be honest, everyone hates Arsenal right now for some reason. This used to be us. Everyone used to hate us. But right now, it seems nobody wants Arsenal to win this league because of their fan base. Nobody. Like, you can just see it. Like, the way West Ham fans reacted on Twitter yesterday, on social media, post-game. Yes, go and win, Liverpool. Hope you smashed Man City. Man City fans saying, I hope Liverpool win the 90th minute. Man City fans saying, I hope Liverpool win the 90th minute because they don't want Arsenal anywhere near a title race. The hate is huge. The hate is huge for Arsenal right now.
Look, I don't follow a lot of Arsenal people. I got a few in my family who stay clear of me for some reason. But effectively, the general sense from some of the stuff I've read on socials at least, there's a and I've just been exposed to, maybe it's a small sample, like a lot of entitlement. And I'm kind of, one tweet that I came across earlier this morning was something along the lines of, so many injuries and Liverpool are so lucky and we've got all these injuries. Cool. I mean, when this shirt was being worn, there were lots of injuries. The season after, lots of injuries. The season before, lots of it. Like, it's just, Liverpool know this movie. We didn't complain about it. We just went on. Liverpool have signed one player in more than a calendar year. Cool. Like, whatever. Like, Liverpool are where they are. Arsenal, I don't care. I don't care. So maybe that's what it probably comes from, Gags. It's just this, I mean, play the card you dealt, and if it sucks, cool. But like, make the best of it. I don't see Liverpool complaining. It is what
Wait
it is.
until Mo does 20 goals, plus goals, and assists.
Oh, that's coming. That's coming.
Because Arsenal fans are going to lose it again because the Henry record's gone. Of the greatest individual season in Premier League history is about to happen. I have a feeling it is. And I really wished Mo got a couple of more assists, so it's really like guaranteed pretty much. But that could happen anytime. He's 11 games.
Well, if this tactical switch occurs the way you're describing, and it's sort of like this interesting 4-2-4, sort of
4-2-2-2.
Yeah, box midfield almost. And it's I mean, Cody's proven he can finish this season. Mo's Mo. Dom can finish. Mac can finish. Curtis can finish. I mean, he scored fine today. Offside, unfortunately, but like maybe you can. I think unfortunately, I hate to say it, the 2 9s are not the ones you trust anymore, right? It is what it is. But yeah, I mean, maybe this is, in a strange way, this weird little patch where goals kept on being conceded and 2-0 lead suddenly started playing with the psychology of the team. Maybe that was important. Maybe that was actually important for the team to go through so that they could suddenly register, hang on a second, we're in control of this thing. This is Liverpool's title to hold on to. Let's make the relevant adjustment. That's why, for me, the only concern I got from now until the end of the season is fatigue. Fatigue and injuries,
but again,
which is the same. But
I'm not worried about that anymore, just because of the points difference now. Like, literally, points on the board is way better than games in hand. Like, we know it, and it's only one game in hand as well.
Yes,
and also the next the next kind of 3 games being all at home for Liverpool, and Arsenal playing Forest away, Man United away, Chelsea at home. Those teams can hurt them. They will struggle, at somewhere, and especially with their, the way they're playing. So. Yeah, Gags, Arsenal fans are kings ahead last. Well, one Arsenal fan is very nice, Sudge, who always comes on. And to be honest, Sudge did say that he thinks the title race will be over by the end of Feb. So maybe Sudge was always right. And that's an Arsenal fan coming on here and saying it. Like, he's probably the nicest Arsenal fan we've come across, to be honest. There was one, he chat right at the start. Where was it? I just want to get that in. Here you go. Mabs said right at the start, on the MOB, Grizz finally declared we're going to win the league. So Grizz, who was waiting for a long time, has now finally declared that we're going to win the league.
But you know why? If I recall correctly, on that episode of G&G, I think you guys have been speaking about this 5-game patch. I think he called 9 points from the 5. No, a bit more than that. You're already 7 in. So and you've got the 2 home games left.
Yeah.
So
no, 1 left now. Just 1.
One left. So
we won. So the 5 were we won. So we've got 8 so far.
Right.
Because we've drawn 2, won 2. Right. Yeah. Everton and Villa drawn 2. The away at City, and I mean, we got 5 out of the 9 from away games. Not too bad. Tough away games, man, for us. Tough with it, just because of this. How many games it was. The Wolves one we edged today was easy. I mean, it wasn't easy. Sorry, it was hard work for them. You could see they were knackered at the end. But this is the type of win that gives you more strength than anything. Gives you 100%. A buzz. You're not like, oh my god, I'm so tired. Like look at it a week ago, or how many was it? 10 days ago, Everton. We felt like we lost. Even the manager came on. Like the press conference post Everton and goes, like last week when we lost. And I was like, oh shit, wait, we didn't lose? It felt like a loss.
Virgil said the same thing. Virgil said the same thing in the post match. It felt like that, but that, like, ironically for me, that's a compliment to the mentality of the team. They hate not winning. Notice the choice of my words. They hate not winning.
Yeah.
So it's very cool. It's the right thing. It's the right mentality.
But Marco, we've got to an hour here, and I think we've covered everything. Unless there's something else you need to cover.
No, do I need to say it again? I'll say it again. Give Mo his flowers. People, give Mo his flowers.
I think that's the title of the pod. Give Mo his flowers, folks. I think everybody is right now. Twitter's going mental. I think Discord's going crazy. Everyone is in love. And so there should be another goal and assist for the great man. He is flying. Liverpool are once again flying. Really looking forward to what the next week and a half brings. We've got a Champions League game coming up. We've got Newcastle at home. And then I do have a ticket to the final. So I won't be on this show for that week, for that game. I'm sorry, folks. But I shall be at Wembley. And who knows, Slot might just win his first trophy as well.
Can I just ask, what is your record in attending finals?
Oh my God, it's patchy. We won the two in the last two I went to. We lost the Champions League final. I won the two cups before that. Last year I couldn't go because I was going to the work event, so I gave the ticket away. So yeah, I think out of the last three we won two. Then we won the Champions League final before that. So 3 out of the last 4. But yeah, I've been to plenty of losses as well. I went to the 2 losses as well. The Kiev loss. But what else was there? I went to the FA Cup final losses in Chelsea, but the Chelsea, we've done all those over lately. So yeah, lately is a better record than not. But to be honest, I've been there with the rest of the 45,000 people that are going to all these finals. Like, there must be quite a few of us that have gone to all of them. So either way, if I'm bad luck, they are too. You know what I mean?
It's just like there's me fishing for a funny superstition, but all good. I mean, it's enjoy the trip, Gags, and obviously hopefully you come back having celebrated yet another Carabao Cup win.
Thank you so much. Fingers crossed. I hope so. Thank you very much, Pella. Thank you everybody who has been commenting along, making this time go so fast for us. Thank you for joining me once again, Marco. Really appreciate it. And let's hope this is the start of an absolutely rollicking run for 2 months, all the way to success for Liverpool FC in the 24-25 season. And, the comeback of myself and yourself on shows is a very successful one. So with that, I'm just going to say thank you all and up the Reds.
Now you're going to believe us.